All right, we're the huge movie fanatics, and what's that? Oh! We're here to review Final Destination franchise, which actually is very ironic. When I was a kid getting into horror movies when I was 12, I never would have imagined there would be a horror series where there isn't a killer.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And it's almost like...
It's really clever, actually.
It's clever in a way, but it's just like, whatever. So, Final Destination, I can't remember if the first one came out, what, 2000 or 99?
It must have been 2000, actually.
And I can't remember when I saw it. You know, if I saw it at the time or whatever. But anyway, I haven't seen any of them in theater. I saw it on video and saw it after the fact, and I wasn't particularly blown away. I think the first one for me, as I can recall, I might have seen them all twice, at least, and or except for the last two. And from what I can recall, the first one is different than all of them in that the presence is more of a presence, isn't that true? Where in the sequels, it's not like a presence, it's just like stuff happens.
Yeah.
Where in the first one, it's more like
a shadow.
You see a shadow or just or stuff like that. So.
First one's also the only one with character development. It's something that's important.
Which I can't really remember anything about. All I remember is like, you know, it's really not my kind of horror franchise because I like, you know, Leatherface or Michael Myers or Jason. I like a physical killer. But it is an interesting, you know, to do so, you can't, it is good to try something different, and, you know, it's something different. I'll let you take off. I can't even remember. Oh, maybe 2 stars. I'll let you take off. Final Destination.
Final Destination is one that, because I was just way into Scream movies at that point, so
it was
I was going back and watching like all the classic '80s ones, and I was seeing Texas Chainsaw and Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm seeing all these movies with serial killer leads, Candyman, and all this kind of stuff. And then I saw Final Destination, and I'm like, you know, this is actually really kind of clever, and I really liked it because it was different. Yeah. I'd give it 3.5 stars. I do think it's a very, very good movie.
Oh.
Very good movie. And it's unique, it's smart, you watch it all the way through, it's got a lot of nice surprises, nice scares. The deaths are actually quite interesting and unexpected at times. The acting's good. I really like Devon Sawa, even though he turned out to be a douchebag in real life.
What did he do?
Beat up his wife, or his fiancée or something like that, and went to prison for it.
Is he still in prison now?
No, I think he got out.
Watch out, he's out.
That's probably why he wasn't in the second one. And then it also had Sean William Scott, whom I like, and I really, really like the actress who played Clear Rivers. That was the character's name. I remember that. She was Allie. I can't remember her name. Darn, she's in the Resident Evil movies now. But she was also on Heroes. She's an actress I like, and so it had like a good cast. And the other thing that's interesting about this movie, and something you might not even know, is this movie was written and directed by a couple of the X-Files guys.
Oh.
They developed this episode, as an episode of the X-Files. It was supposed to be Mulder and Scully on the plane, and somebody else wakes up from the dream, and Mulder and Scully start intervening and actually encounter death and all this kind of stuff. And that was going to be the original X-Files movie. But then the studio's like, why don't you do something a little more alien-y, because that's what people expect out of the X-Files. So instead, they're like, well, okay, we'll do that, and set this story aside and just do it with like a bunch of teenagers, just extract Mulder and Scully. But there's still like the FBI presence in that first movie, which is kind of neat. So knowing that, like, I'm a huge X-Files fan, and like that's just kind of cool, and I don't know, it does have the X-Files feel. Like this is a mystery stripped from like, why is this happening? This is an X-File. This is cool. And so I really like the movie. I will say the original ending, which is on the DVDs, vastly superior to the one that you get in the film. The way that they discover you can stop death is by intervening in death's path, because it's picking off the people as they're dying on the plane, and Devon Sawa's character sacrifices himself to save Clear, who's supposed to die before him. And they have that happen in the movie, but he survives. She is pregnant in the thing, so by him dying and her giving birth, the cycle is disrupted, and you see that in the deleted scenes on the disc. Really wish that was there, because it also added to that mysterious quality that the first had with the shadow and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I really liked it, so I'm gonna go 3.5. I still think it's a very watchable movie. We're gonna move on to the second one now.
Well, don't I get to do that?
Yes.
I give it 2. I can't remember anything from it except someone getting choked by something in a shower or tub or something like that.
That was the first one.
No, that's what we were talking about. We were
Oh,
talking about
I thought you were.
Oh, no, I said I can't remember much about it. Oh, yeah, you thought I was going on the second
Yeah.
one? No. That's all I can remember about the first one. 2 stars on the second one. Second one is we kind of start the Saw thing where it's like, okay, they probably recognize that maybe people like the deaths or maybe they like the deaths themselves or, I don't know who's involved in any of these movies or anything like that as they go along. So it seems to be much more about the deaths and the way people die. I mean, I can't really remember. I can't even, I should have, in theory, watched them all, but I'm not going to watch 6 movies just so we can review them. So I can remember just like thinking that like the beginning, some of the deaths are kind of cool with the truck at the beginning or whatever.
That the incident in the beginning of the movie is actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
I can remember
the accident.
I can remember liking some of the death things in the second one. That's all I have to say.
1.5.
Maybe 2 stars because some of them deaths are so cool in the beginning accident.
The beginning accident is insanely well filmed, and actually, like, it's when I'm driving on the freeway and stuff.
Wait,
it's still
you have you drive?
No, like when I'm on the freeway.
When you're
yeah.
I thought
When I'm on the freeway, it does freak me out seeing like a car that does have like logs on the back. Where I'm like, if we slammed on the brakes right now, that is gonna come right through my chest. Final Destination style.
Oh no, the truck would keep going and you'd stop. You mean if the truck stopped on its brakes?
Yeah, like that was what happened in the movie. It was like,
yeah.
But so that opening scene is actually quite freaky and effective. But much like you mentioned with Saw, they put this weird backstory where all the people that lives got disrupted because those characters in the first movie were supposed to die. It has affected these people who were also supposed to die because of that, and so now they have to die now in this horrible traffic accident. But this one woman survived, realizes it right before it happens.
Why is there always one person who?
I don't know. In the first one, it was just kind of neat and unique. Like that's that dude's power was that he could figure out death's design. But now all the other ones have it.
If there's a group of people that are supposed to die, one of them knows it beforehand.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb. The first one was unique and interesting, and I liked it. The second one, then you have all these really like intricate deaths, like the spaghetti guy, as I like to call him. He's cooking food and he spills the spaghetti and he slips on it, and then it's causing all this chaos, and then he ends up starting a fire in his kitchen, and he has to go down.
Get out of it, and then just something lands.
Yeah, he falls down the escape thing and the fire escape with the ladder that won't go all the way down, and then he makes it, and he's lying down, he's like, so intricate. Cut to the survivor of the first movie, the only one who makes it to the second movie. How does she die? She's just walking by, something blows up, she catches on fire and falls over dead. That is literally how she goes out. This is the most anticlimactic death of the entire franchise, I'm gonna go so far as to say. Just somebody who's like, da-da-da-da-da. That's it.
Yeah, but the movies play with the ironicness of it. So I think it played funny in that having a character that survived in the first one, just have her, just die in such
every other character in all 5 movies.
Yeah, but that's what makes it so ironic, though, is that the person that survived, I don't know if it was the only one who survived to a next sequel.
Yeah, it's just the only character that
just dies in the most, stupid way, like, basketball hitting her in the head and breaking her neck or something. Yeah, so whatever. I'll defend that on those grounds.
It's terrible. The second one is really bad. But it did have that opening scene. I did like the spaghetti guy that got killed by the ladder. I didn't like him. I liked that incident. It was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
And that was where the deaths started to get funny. The first one, the deaths were all kind of serious.
Yeah, that's right. And the second one,
they started getting
the word ironic comes to mind and just funny.
And so
I'll tell you what, I can't even think of third. I can't.
I'm gonna go 2 stars on the second
I'll
one.
go 2 because some of them, you know,
Yeah.
death scenes are cool. I can't remember anything else. You can go
Third
3
one?
because I don't even remember.
Third one, I think actually was in 3D back in the day. I think it was the first one to go 3D.
I'm not sure,
Uh,
but I wasn't
but-
paying attention.
I really wasn't either. That one,
Is it the roller coaster?
Yeah, it's the roller coaster one.
I
It was-
can't remember anything.
It's really kind of bogus. The only thing that I liked about it is it had the chick who played John McClane's daughter from Live Free or Die
Oh,
Hard
that's
is
right.
the star, and
Uh,
she's pretty. She's a very charming actress, and that said, I don't remember virtually anything from the movie. Isn't that the one where they have the person who gets killed in the drive-through car wash or something like that? Or is that the fourth one?
you know.
It was either the third or fourth. This is where they start bleeding together. The third
Yeah.
one is just kind of bland, 1.5.
There was a drive-through, like just
There-
a drive-through food.
There was a drive-through
Oh.
food, but there was somebody who also gets killed in a drive-through car wash, which they did on MythBusters, and it's not lethal. Like and they had Adam Savage standing in the car as the thing hit him and doesn't do anything.
Well, that's too bad.
So they're like, that can't happen. But yeah, it was. They started just getting progressively lame. The third one had the girl who got killed by the staple gun thing. The thing just starts going off and starts.
Is that I can remember like some kind of like a goth couple.
Yeah,
in
goth
the,
redhead
in the
chick.
Home Depot or whatever.
Yeah,
That's,
and it's
that's
just
all.
like.
That's all I can remember of 3, except for the roller coaster.
Mhm.
Was it a roller coaster opening?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can remember.
Opening and closing. I think it ends there too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can remember. 1.5 stars.
Yeah, it's just kind of bland.
You continue because I don't remember any.
All right, then-
Oh no, I remember. I'll go ahead. You start.
The Final Destination. This
Which
was
is
supposed to
so
be. It was the end
confusing.
of the franchise. Yeah, now they get dumb. It's like the Rambo franchise in a weird way, where it's like First Blood, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo. It's like it's weird to watch like language devolve.
That's true. That's a part of the big plan. But to have a 4th movie called The Final Destination, what's the first one called? Final Destination. Because a lot of times when you talk about a movie that has a "the" in it, you won't say the anyway. So they're basically 2 Final Destinations with the same title.
Yeah.
Because "the" isn't really even counted necessarily.
No. Yeah, and this one is just so ridiculous because it's the race car track opening, which is lame. The guy who gets killed by the tire, which is flat out from The Simpsons. One of the characters.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that happened on The Simpsons, and it was kind of funny. In a race car track, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sure they were watching that and they're like, "Well, I think that's the best way we can go with this franchise." But anyway, so the movie has the race car thing. Then the person's like, "Whoa, well, I gotta save everybody," and then he goes through and he successfully saves all but 3 people, and then the movie ends in a movie theater mall, and they're watching a movie, and then a fire starts, and then he's like, "Whoa, oh my god." It happens twice in the movie.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and then they start running out of the mall, and the one lead actress, who's a very pretty girl, who apparently is from Minnesota, she's a pretty redhead, she falls in the escalator, and the escalator starts like grinding her legs, and then it gets to her knees, and she starts coughing up blood, and I'm like, logically, that doesn't flow, because in order for you to start coughing up blood, unless you have some severe like problems with your stomach, something has to hit your stomach. Apparently her stomach's located in her knees.
Oh my feet are getting crushed. Blah!
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. She starts coughing up blood. That made me laugh. But it's the most ridiculous and stupid of the entire franchise.
By the time they got to 4, especially because I don't know if 3 was 3D or not, but 4 was the first
first 3D, where it was the Avatar 3D
right,
technology.
post-Avatar.
Yeah.
So it was all about 3D and just kills, that's it.
Yeah, and it was so bad. So bad. That one's the, like...
Is that the one with the guy at the pool who gets in the bottom? Doesn't he get his gut sucked
Oh,
up
yeah,
through his
yeah,
asshole?
yeah.
Which actually has happened before in real life.
Yeah, here in Minnesota too, I think, didn't it?
I don't know. I can remember it happened to some little girl or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think that was in
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh shit, sorry.
Yeah.
It's our state's fault.
I know, we got this to happen in a film. Anyway, the movie is bogus. It's a half-star movie. It's just so bad. The one thing that these movies do have is an odd sense of amusement just to see
That's
these
what
things
happened
happen.
from the second one on.
Yeah, like, I mean, So even if they are that bad, they're kind of watchable.
They're
in a
entertaining because they're
weird
dumb.
way.
I'll go 1.5 stars, by the way. Did I give 2, 3?
You didn't give. Oh, you 3. I think you gave 1.5.
1.5 as well. Yeah.
So
So 1.5 is only for what you just said. That goofy, funny watchability.
I'm gonna
What are they
bump it
gonna
up to
do?
1 because like
Ooh.
just because like a half star is basically just completely unwatchable. 1 star, like there is something there. Like I can sit down if the movie's on TV and I can't find the remote. I'm not gonna just be
I
like.
can't find the remote.
I'm not gonna hang myself or something like that. Like I'll sit there and I'll endure.
Oh, wow.
But all right, so then let's move on to Final Destination 5, where they were like the most recent one. This is where they. This is how mind-numbing this franchise is. Spoiler alert, guys. All right, so you've seen the 5th one, right?
Yeah.
The 5th one's a prequel.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
It takes place beforehand, and you see it ends
Before
with
what?
before the first movie, because it ends
I
with
remember
everybody.
something like that. Going on a plane.
Yeah, it ends with the survivors getting on a plane, and the plane is the one from the first movie, and you see Devon Sawa all of a sudden wake up from his dream,
Oh, I
and he's like,
remember
"We
that.
gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
And so that you have a movie, Final Destination 2, which is a sequel to the first one. The third one references back to the second two in a really loose way. The fourth one's completely disjointed, unconnected, and also called The Final Destination. Then you have Final Destination 5, which is established as the 5th movie, which is a prequel to the... So if you have to watch these in a chronological order, this is how one would imagine you'd watch them. Final Destination 5, Final Destination, Final Destination 2, Final Destination 3, The Final Destination. Really? Like, seriously? That said, the 5th one actually went back to the roots of actually trying to make it a legitimate scary horror movie.
Oh.
And it actually kind of worked a little bit. You had the person who sort of went mad by death's design and became a killer, and it was actually trying to gun down the people at the end of the movie. And it's the guy who looks just like young Tom Cruise. Like,
Oh, I remember that or something.
yeah, and it's kind of weird how much that dude looks like Tom Cruise. But
Maybe he could replace him. Tom's
the
so
new
nutty.
Ethan
Yeah,
Ethan Hunt.
exactly.
I was gonna say Ethan Hawke.
Dun,
Yeah, Ethan Hunt.
dun, dun.
Yeah, but we should review those movies again. Anyway,
Again?
just because those are better movies.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Final Destination 5, I will give 2 stars, just because it got it back into what it was initially, which was a more horror-based movie, and it played with some new uniqueness, and I kind of like the idea of it tying in that you really do see Death Has a Design. They survived all of that, but they get onto the plane, and the plane's going to blow up, and there's nothing around it, which is sort of the main message is you can't alter your fate. If you're going to die, you're going to die, which is a weird, bad message to send, but they're horror movies, so whatever.
Well, bad message. I mean, it's just the reality.
I mean,
of
I guess
life.
it is
You can't-
reality.
Reality life isn't good or bad. It's just
That's
the
true.
reality
Yeah,
of
that's true.
life. And I do. That's one thing before I go out with the series is I do like that idea, which is very ironic, where the idea of, let's say, you have 2 choices to go to like a rave party,
Mhm.
right, or a coffee shop or something, or a library. And you say, well, my horoscope's not too good today. I'll go to I don't want to put myself in that dangerous rave party situation. I'll go to the chess match. And then a truck you'd be at the chess match thinking it's a safer environment, and a drunk drives into the chess match through the wall and just kills you. That is the ironicness of life, and that's what I will give the series props for, that idea. Which, to acknowledge that idea, which is an interesting idea. I can't remember anything about 5. I'll just go 1.5.
Well, yeah, if you can't remember it, then it's not.
Then it's not a good sign.
Yeah. The only one that I really, really liked is that first one. It's a good movie. It's a good, fun episode of Twilight Zone kind of thing. Like,
Or
something
X-Files.
weird happens, and on tonight's episode of The Twilight Zone. Like, it's just kind of a fun little movie. Dumb but harmless, as I like to say.
Maybe that'll be the title of the 6th one. Dumb.
Final Destination, dumb but harmless. I'd watch it.
I bet you would. Well, you have to, because if
Yeah,
you
I
make
have
it,
to.
you have
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
All right. What do you think?
That's it. That's the Final Destination franchise.
As it
folks.
exists right now in its
I
entirety.
think if you average it out, those probably get like maybe a 1.75 from me.
I apologize. I mean, I really don't remember much of them, but I
Go
thought.
back, rewatch that first one. You might enjoy it a little more now. Just you might.
All right, thanks for watching.